Please stand for the pledge.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clausen.
Here.
Mr. Cox.
Here.
Mr. Graven. Here. Mr. Phipps.
Here.
Mayor Hall.
Here. Consent agenda. Items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will not be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will occur unless a council member requests the item to be removed from the consent agenda. If an item is removed from the consent agenda, it will be considered elsewhere on the agenda for this meeting. Prior to asking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, the mayor will ask if anyone desires to remove an item from the consent agenda for public discussion. Would anybody like to remove an item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 21st, 2024, and the bills and payroll for the last half of May 2024. Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, and roll call.
Mr. Clausen.
Yes.
Mr. Cox.
Yes.
Mr. Graven. Yes. Mr. Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Presentations, petitions, and communications. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for persons who desire to address the council. The Illinois Open Meetings Act mandates the city council may not take action on comments received on matters that have not been identified on this agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the matter for action on the agenda for another meeting. Persons addressing the council are requested to limit their presentations to 3 minutes and to avoid repetitious comments. We would also ask that you state your name and address for the record, as well as stand when speaking. Understand we have somebody that would like to address the council. If you would just come up and tell us who you are and where you're from and anything else you want to tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and the commissioners. My name is Dick Rhodes. I'm the president of Dustby's Outdoor Media. Been working with, actually, I'd like to thank Kyle and Alex. We've been working together on a project for the last 18 months. And I'd also like to thank the city for the opportunity to partner with you on this digital project. Some of the benefits of this project, and I think everyone has a photo of rendering. This is just the initial rendering of what the sign looks like. We can make adjustments as we go. But it would be available for public service announcements, Amber alerts, anything with the police department, fire department, tourism. It would be available, and actually it can be taken over by the city. And, you know, if you have a tornado come through the town, God forbid, or something like that, you know, it would be at your total disposal of what you wanted to put out there. Together, I think we can create a great connected community. And I just wanted to address this again. I know it's Kyle and Alex have been working on it hard, you know, with everything going on with the sports complex. I understand that there's been a lot of other things that take priority, and I just wanted to answer any questions that the mayor or commissioners may have, if there are any.
Dick, do you have any other municipalities that have partnered with you?
We have had municipalities, not with my company, but with other companies up in the Chicago area. And I supplied those. I supplied those to Alex and Kyle.
So this will be your first actual contract, assuming that we get to that point, that you've done for a city yourself?
Yes.
For your own company, okay. And you mentioned that access would be made available to the city for various things. Some of them security things or disaster issues, but also for I don't know if advertising, but information about like parades or anything like that. And that is at no cost. Is that correct? Okay. Okay.
This is, it's kind of evolved. It's now probably about a $500,000 project.
And that's your expenses to get in this.
It'd be no expense to the city and you would have use of the billboard to promote the city, tourism, whatever. And then you would be able to, any of the city departments in an emergency situation would be able to dial in into the billboard and take it over.
Okay. So, and the control location of the database or wherever you control it, where would that be at and how's it
It would be located at our offices.
in your offices?
Yes.
Okay.
There's nothing on site anymore.
But the emergency things that would need to be done immediately, then police or fire?
You would have access to dial into that system and then take it over. And now all that training would be done.
Okay.
Your discussions with Alex and Cal, have you defined a location, which would kind of be?
We have a couple of locations defined. I've got to give the permission from the city before I can, yes, we have actually talked about a couple of locations.
Fine.
So, Mr. Rhodes, you mentioned it's $500,000 project, so there's considerable expense on your part. Private venture and partnership with the city, which,
Correct.
but it's a private venture, and I respect that. So you're going to be selling advertisements
Correct.
on here.
Yes.
And again, it's a private venture, so I respect that. But what boundaries, I guess, do we have on, because you're going to be responsible for selling the advertising. The city doesn't have any part of that.
Correct.
And so what are the boundaries that you'd be selling the advertising on? So we're not advertising, I guess, businesses or events or things that might be competing with Mattoon businesses as well.
Correct.
Because, I mean, $500,000, that's a sizable investment. You have to recoup your investment, obviously. So what's your market look like that you're going for advertisers?
And any normal market that we have, I mean, we have a digital location in, actually back-to-back digital location in Mount Vernon. And so, I mean, our focus is on the cities where the signs are located. One of the things, a couple of the things that Alex and Kyle and I talked about earlier was restricting, of course, tourism. We don't want to advertise outside events, to take away from the city of Mattoon, and I totally respect that. We can talk about categories I just have a reservation, if I can be totally honest about it, of restricting, any type of advertising just because of that investment. But I will tell you this, that the focus is going to be on Mattoon and Coles County area.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you're scheduling the advertising, scheduling the plan, are you going to schedule like a year out? Are you going to be working with somebody contractually to have them there rotating in and out? I mean, how does that process work?
Not sure I understand the question.
So like we're talking about having you recoup your investment. So will you be scheduling, for example, Casey Summers is going to have, is going to purchase maybe a year-long contract with me.
Yes.
They're going to rotate in and out of that. I guess my concern is the
Yes.
gap. I think that's when if we can fill the gap with just Mattoon things, that would be better, right?
Right.
You would-
Yes, and that would be our objective.
Okay.
That is our primary objective.
Right. But I mean, if he's got open slots, it can be other out-of-town businesses, so to speak, that could pay rent for that.
Mr. Rhodes, how do you deal with potentially controversial issues? If something comes up that you don't know how it may affect, or you don't maybe you need to get advice. Do you raise those issues with us before you actually post them? Or do we get a chance to review those? And those could be, I don't know, I suppose they could be political. There could be political things or offensive things, which we wouldn't want offensive advertising.
One thing that I did, because that initially, actually brought it up to Alex, or maybe he brought it up to me, but, one of the, we do not, our company does not accept advertisements from strip clubs or adult bookstores or anything like that. We can restrict that advertising. And one of the ways that we thought we could put that in the ordinance was morally acceptable advertising in the community. And we could also put up, if there's anything that we feel out of the norm, we could bring to the mayor, we could bring to you or any designated person, before we would put anything up.
Yeah. I'm sure you,
We also, I apologize for interrupting, but we also have in all of our agreements that we can terminate any advertising that is not acceptable.
I'm going to bet that you've talked about all these things with Alex and Kyle. They're nodding their head and they're thinking, why are you going into all this? So we don't want to take, yeah, but we don't want to take up too much of your time going through that. I'm sure our city attorney is going to, or has already reviewed maybe the contract or proposal. We're not to that
We're
point.
not to that point yet, but
So,
those things.
yeah, but it sounds like an exciting opportunity for the city. It sounds like an exciting opportunity for you. We have a lot of good things to say. We could use a very large electronic board visible from, interstates or state routes or whatever. You got some sites in mind, so, yeah.
How quickly, once that contract's agreed to, how quickly could that be constructed and up and running?
Right now, actually, we're going out to the East Coast to talk with a digital, a new digital sign provider. And that's one of my questions for them is what their backlog is. Typically, it's 6 to 8 weeks on digital boards. I just ordered a steel structure that we have another permit on, and their delivery date is 1st of August. So it's
What's supply? Yeah.
Pretty reasonable.
That's not bad.
probably about a 3 to 4 month process.
Yeah.
The main thing here, if I may, is just first it needs to become legal to construct such a sign. So we'd have to modify our sign ordinance to
Right.
that.
Mhm.
And so, once we have that in hand, then they would be able to move forward.
So when are you going to get that in front of us?
So we have sent out a ordinance proposal to council.
Yeah.
There's maybe 1 or 2 lines that but we have sent that out to council for review. We've received some comments back, but if there's any additional ones or council feels.
So the hangups, the council's what you're really saying.
Not exactly.
Yeah, there's some other things we can discuss in there too. Yeah, there's some tweaks that we've just even talked about. So.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, you got another thing to do.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Acknowledge.
Jim, are you,
Hi, yeah, thanks, Mayor. I will, Bert's obviously not here. Just want to just say a few words, which, as I said Friday night, words will not do justice to 35 years of everything that Kurt did for this city. But just, I made some notes, talked to Dave on some things. Kurt, in 35 years, was a part of 3 national tournaments, 2 Ripken and a Bambino, numerous state American Legion tournaments, both state and district. And then I took 35 years times 6, which is about, I think, the average of softball and baseball tournaments, which could draw anywhere from 20 to 60 teams. So that's over 200 tournaments in 35 years. Facility upgrades to Grimes Field, construction of 2 really nice ballparks at Lawson Park. Just recently, in the last 2 years, a community dog park, actively involved with that. The pickleball courts, numerous special events, Bagel Fest, Lightworks, just I think everybody in this room knows all his accomplishments. And, but there's also something, I think that it took me a while to see it. Kurt had a good staff. You know, TJ's here tonight and others, but Kurt would never be outworked. Kurt was a guy that got in there and did not delegate jobs. So he worked hard and his guys bought into that. He could be helping at Dodge Grove with funerals in the middle of January. He could be jumping on a mower at Lake Mattoon, just numerous things here. And so we had a nice plaque. Some of you made it Friday night. We had a very nice, his daughter had a surprise retirement party, a ton of people there. And the city, we put a nice plaque with a baseball bat, and there were several people that autographed it. And if I had to guess, that bat probably got filled up.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know. Probably those words were a little shallow, but you know, just so many things and big shoes to fill for 35 years. So,
Very good. And you've already given the bat to him. You got a plaque for him. You'll get that to him.
but yeah,
Yeah.
give him this. Yeah, he got the bat Friday night, so
All right.
it's nice.
Any other comment? Anybody?
Didn't mention it all. Yeah.
Good deal. All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, let's go down to new business.
Okay, I make a motion to adopt special ordinance 2024-1904, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and Jasper Holdings LLC, reimbursing up to $80,000 from Midtown TIF revenues over a one-year period for roof replacement and repairs to the building located at 1418 Broadway Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement.
Can I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps seconds that. And any comments anybody has or any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Raven? Yes. Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Make a motion to adopt special ordinance 2024-1905, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and Jasper Holdings LLC, reimbursing up to $80,000 from Midtown TIF revenue over a one-year period for roof replacement and repairs to the building located at 1422 Broadway Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement.
Can I have a second to that motion?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps, and any questions or comments about this? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Raven? Yes. Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
And make a motion to adopt special ordinance number 2024-1906, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and Jasper Holdings LLC, reimbursing up to $29,963 from Midtown TIF revenues over a one-year period for roof replacement and repairs to the building located at 309 South 21st Street, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement.
And a second to that motion.
No.
Make it three?
Make it 3.
Okay, Commissioner Phipps, and any questions or comments about this one? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Raven? Yes. Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2024-2490, awarding the bid in the amount of $32,800 from Elite Textile Trading LLC for the OSLAD grant ADA accessible picnic tables, which includes delivery and assembly.
And a second to that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Cox, questions, comments?
This is just part of the OSLAD bids that we put out. These are pretty much the last ones. They were by far the lowest bid, and it also came with assembly, so.
Makes it easy, right? Okay, any other comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Raven? Yes. Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2024-2491, rejecting all bids received for the Oslad West Pavilion roof replacement and approving the revised bid specifications for the Oslad West Pavilion roof replacement.
And a second to that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Cox, any questions, comments on this?
The main thing is essentially, we put this out to bid, things came in way higher than we expected, almost 3 times what was budgeted in the OSLAD grant for the roof replacement. So we ended up just having a thinner gauge of steel. And so that's what we're rebidding at this point, hoping to get it closer to, that would be specified.
And this is at Lake Mattoon
Yeah.
Campgrounds?
Yeah, this is the West Pavilion roof.
Okay.
And I think when we got estimates, we had the thinner gauge steel. Was that correct? And then in the bid, we actually bid the thicker steel, not realizing it was going to be that much more.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2024-1907, ratifying an employment agreement with Travis J. Hess as Parks and Recreation Director due to the retirement of Kurt Stretch and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to sign the agreement.
And a second on this motion.
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps and
I was trying to take so.
well, the good thing you got a second. Sorry. Anyway,
Commented before I knew the gig, so.
Sorry.
questions or comments, anybody?
We've had, Kyle and I, we've had a couple of meetings with TJ and, you know, I talked about some of the accomplishments, obviously, of Kurt and everything he's done, but TJ has a vision as well. And I think, you know, Kurt has had us here and TJ's got some other plans that are going to take us.
Okay.
And I think, 10 years with the city, right? Last 2 in the parks.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's an outstanding replacement.
So you think this will work out? You think we'll be all right with this?
And well, we got the second on it, so we should.
We
haven't voted yet.
Yeah, you might want to.
we moved TJ to the park 2 years ago as second in command there underneath Kurt to learn everything he could from Kurt, of course. You know,
Right.
so much that Kurt has done. It's hard to learn a lot in 2 years, but TJ's done a great job of working with Kurt, and Kurt's had nothing but good things to say about TJ, and I've asked Kurt along the way, and he's done some good mentoring of TJ as well, because I'll share one little story. Is I think Kurt said, TJ had said, well, why do you do this for these people, you know, and I don't know, Kurt goes, well, this guy's going to, you know, come back and do this for us, you know, and TJ's like, oh, okay, got it, you know, and TJ's learned that well as well, so, yep.
So
We all help each other out as much as can, yeah.
Any of your comments?
Do we have to call you Travis now, since it's? No.
So let's see if we can get 3 votes here. Go ahead, roll call.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Very happy.
All right, next is me. I move to adopt special orders number 2024-1908, declaring personal property owned by the municipality surplus and authorizing the sale or disposal of the property. Can I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Let's see. All right, questions or comments?
Just lots of surplus from different departments, mowers and trucks and lots of computer stuff, so.
I saw on WCIA TV today, there was a city that had a surplus auction and they advertised, I don't know if it was like a news, it was like free advertising. We need to, if we're going to sell these things, we need to get with WCIA. Maybe we put it on our banner. You know. We need to work something out there. Okay, maybe get a better price.
Kyle, we are using
I think AJ's
an
gonna,
auction.
yeah,
site.
a couple.
couple
He
times.
usually puts the equipment at least on
Yeah.
on an auction site, so.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Raven.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Department reports, starting with City Administrator Kyle Gill.
Working on negotiations has been one of the main things that we've been working on. We're working with TJ on contracts. TJ and them have been getting some stuff for the fencing around the pickleball courts. So been helping out with that a little bit. Just a lot of little things. We got replacements in several departments that we're trying to replace, doing interviews, making offers, not always getting exceptions. So we go to the next one and doing some backgrounds on judici and stuff like that. So staying very busy. Something else that I was going to do, and I can't remember. I was thinking about it when we were talking earlier, but now I slipped my mind. I didn't write it down. So, but no, plenty busy, always hectic. Working on sports complex stuff. But one thing what I wanted to bring up was Dave's working on a bid specification for a sewer from the sports complex to the water treatment plant. And we would like to go out for advertisement of bids as soon as we can. There's some of those stores may be open September 1st. So we want to try to give time for people to bid it, get time to get things constructed. We do have if it's not done, we can go into the existing sewer there, but the long term, it needs to go into this pipe straight to the sewer treatment plant. So we wanted to see if we could get a special meeting on maybe Monday morning, if that would work out for the council, just to prove this bid specifications and allow us to go out for bidding on that. I just wanted to see what you guys were available. I know sometimes morning's better. We could do something like a 7:30 on Monday morning.
Just coming.
Earlier the better, just if you can. It's up to everybody else.
This next Monday we're talking about.
Yeah,
Everybody okay?
I can be there. Say
Dave?
7:30.
So that's
Yeah,
okay for you?
yeah.
Andy?
I'm checking in a minute.
You okay? I'm
Yeah.
fine with that time.
Yeah, 7:30.
7:30 Monday.
You'll have coffee, right, chief?
What's that?
You'll have coffee, right?
Sure.
Okay.
PD will have donuts.
Yes.
Police department, will you bring donuts?
No, they didn't bring us them.
That's
Oh, I forgot.
Time.
Okay.
7:30. Is that right, sir?
Don't you guys get donuts free?
spoke up, someone said down the south.
Okay, so everybody's
Yeah.
okay with that?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll send out someone this.
Yeah,
You send it,
we'll get a packet together and
send an RSVP.
yep,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Perfect. What else we got?
That's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Dan Jones, city attorney.
Quiet, for me, business as usual. Happy to take questions about anything.
Anybody?
Any update on the Brown Shoe Factory?
We have a hearing on July 1st, so that's the next.
We had a conversation with Joe Coleman Demolition today, and $80,000 to knock it down, and another $460,000, something like that, for hauling it off. That's your fun.
Oh, it's not?
Yes, it is.
It's my phone. Whoa, sorry about that.
So that was much, much higher than I expected.
Yeah.
How much?
So 460 some thousand to haul it off.
Oh, wow.
Demolition.
How much?
460 some thousand.
That's terrible.
So 540,000 total to take that thing down.
Yes, and haul it off.
Oh,
And who would pay that?
Well, I mean, if we get a court order for us to do it, we would pay it and try to go after the owner,
get
but
lien on the property. So, yeah,
man, are we having,
I didn't do that part.
Jim, you're so turned on the TV.
Yeah.
So Judge,
I think
You
it's,
guys controlling that back there?
I think it's a billboard advertisement.
So Judge Wetzel has ordered the manager of that LLC to show up on the 1st, and if not, he's said he'll have him arrested. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get him in one way or the other, but, it will not be till July 1.
We worked that out where once the warrant's issued and they figured out Kansas City picked them up, send 2 guys down to Kansas City and right back. So that's already done.
So there was,
Just shut that.
so that's July 1st
Yes.
coming up. And they've already been assessed fines.
Yes. And potentially more.
Yeah.
But we want to take it down.
Yeah.
So,
I think we're at, listening to the judge, I think we're at a good spot.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens, but
he's been ignored 3 times. He's been told to show up 3 times and he is not, and the judge is not happy about that.
Right.
They just don't like it when you
And we'll get some more bid.
ask you to that part when you don't come. So,
so I think we're in a good spot where he's gonna be forced to be held accountable.
Yep.
So.
Is this fine money can go towards?
Yeah, but we're not that high on fines.
Is there any value in the bricks?
They say there is, but the time, yeah, he says there is, the owner does, but the time that you have to take to palletize them and stuff like that. And again, there may be some ways we can try to reduce the cost and demolition as well, as if we can separate clean brick, we may be able to take it up to our pond that we are filling in, but it's got to be clean. There can't be any paint or anything like that on it. We'll have to get approval from EPA on that, but there may be some things we can do to, and just will take more time. So.
And at the Public Works Advisory Committee meeting last week, one of the members brought up the state statute that the contractor has to provide perimeter fencing to limit access to the area. So obviously that hadn't been done out there, so.
Correct.
When was that next hearing scheduled?
July 1, which is a Monday.
Yeah, I would hold off until we see what happens July.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do anything before then.
I think there's a lot of motivation when somebody's sitting, So, we'll see how he responds to that. I like what I heard.
Okay.
We'll see if that.
Works the question.
And if that happens, again, we'll send 2 guys down and get him back out there. So,
Great.
Any other questions for Dan? Okay, City Clerk Susan O'Brien.
Just prepared the actuary health insurance information that they needed for the auditors, for the city audit, and for the fire pension annual report. All that.
Okay, any questions for Susan? Finance, Beth Wright.
So the audit was done on May, meeting 2 weeks from yesterday, so I've been busy trying to get schedules and documents together. I passed out the revenue tracking, so we're 1 month into the new fiscal year. We're down 59,675.11 from where we were a year ago. And we took the cash in general fund. Today is 10.9. 2 weeks ago, it was, 3 weeks ago, 11.4. 2 weeks prior to that, it's 10.6. So the cash position is holding steady. If there are questions, that's all I have.
Any questions for Beth? Okay, if none, we'll go to Public Works, Dave Clark.
Yeah, the vet service line surveys that we sent out, we've got about, a little over 1,000 of those back as of today. So rolling in, well, we're getting there. I don't know whether we'll get to a full 7,000 something, but we've got quite a few of them back. We, as Kyle mentioned, working on the sewer plan, so we'll have that for you on Monday morning. And out there at the sports complex, they are getting started. Stark has been out there just a little bit the last couple of days, kind of getting things set up. They even talked today about weather permitting trucks, so forth, that they may start hauling some rock in. So we'll start seeing a lot more action out there. The Rydell School on Western Avenue, the sidewalk out there, that got started this week. They got some signs up. They didn't do a lot today, but tomorrow they'll be out there first thing in the morning, and they're going to start on the west end and come back toward the east. So that is getting going there. The pavement marking contract, that was all done. We are also looking at doing another one yet this year, because we'll finish the 2 blocks on Broadway when that gets done here later this summer. Get that striped, and we'll look at a few other places down that may need some work on that. I think it's, well, a lot of the multiple concrete cost share program projects ongoing. We've completed a couple of them already. Haven't seen the bills yet for the concrete, but there are several of them in the works. The contractors are probably our biggest proponent of this advertising, and people see them doing it and they start asking questions, and the neighbor next door, they want to do it, and the one next thing you know, the whole block's done. So it seems to be going really well, and we're somewhere around about $50,000 already that we've committed to. So moving along well with that. And I think that's all I got.
Just a quick comment, the sidewalk on Western Avenue, you know, remember the little girl? I ran into the little girl's parents, you know, the one that wants to be part of the ribbon cutting. The parents of the little girl said she's going to set up a lemonade stand and make money during the construction, but she's going to give lemonade to all the contractors.
There we go.
So that's what the parents said.
So is that what the chairs and tables are out there in that little parking
Could
area?
be, right, way out on Western Avenue. on the
Yeah.
south side. So she's excited about this sidewalk.
You all right?
All right, all I got, question wise. Probably any other for Dave? Fire, Jeff Hilligoss.
Thank you, Mayor. DJ, congratulations. Since the last meeting, you guys answered 91 calls for service. Training, they did their ARF training, and their annual EMS skills review. That's where an EMS instructor comes in and makes sure they can still do all the skills properly. And then they have hazmat training. We wrapped up our hose testing for the year. All the hose has been tested. And then we are beginning our hydrant testing this week. So we knocked out all the hydrants that would be affected in the construction of the sidewalk project already. So just, we're going to be Western and Broadway Avenue south. So if anybody gets any calls, maybe us. So that's about all I've got, unless anybody has any questions.
Okay, no questions? All right, for police, we have Ryan Hurst, Deputy Chief.
Congratulations to Kurt. He's a legend. Congratulations to TJ as well. So they'll do well. So happy to have you. 900 calls to service last couple of weeks and 55 arrests. I didn't really have anything to report other than being officer to Champaign County on a lateral later this month. So I'll be approaching you guys for hiring a couple. So.
Okay. Okay, any questions for Ryan? Arts and Tourism, Angelia Burgett.
We are working on the very beginning stages of working on additional lights for the buildings to complete downtown. Met with our vendor this morning to look over what's been identified as potential places where we might need to do electrical outlets for each of the building sets, so to speak. And that will include, unless there's any issues, it will include down through Western Avenue where we've got De Beers and Villa Pizza all the way to the end of downtown. As construction allows, So working on that, very excited about that. I would love to, the hope is, I should say, to have this done before fall. So it's more about the pre-planning than it is really about the actual installation. So we're working on that. The Bagel Bow Wow has returned to the festival. Bernie had retired a few years ago, and the Bagel Bow Wow went away and people were very sad about that. And the Doggy Depot has taken up the mantle. And what's interesting is that how excited people are to sponsor it. Like there's this renewed, you take something away and people are like, wait a second. So there's a lot of enthusiasm around it. We're working on the Pearson House signage. There's been some poles there for a while without a sign, and there's a fairly old sign that's on the building. We're gonna get those replaced by Monitor so that it can be more easily identified. And we should have that done by Bagel Fest, let's hope. And then lastly, the mayor and I met with a group called Discover Downstate CDB. We're gonna be working with them. They're a CDB out of the St. Louis area that has a very large marketing ability to help us. So we're going to be able to use them, to utilize them to get more marketing done. And it will actually get paid for by some state grants. That's all.
Okay. Good group. Any questions? Angelia, community development, Alex.
Working on the TIP extension with the PGAD plans for TIP specifically, trying to see how we're able to extend that. And it's going to run out in 2027. Outside of that, we have a lead coming up, a couple of house demos. I believe 3025 should be on the ground by the end of this week. 3025 Markle. Outside of that, we got a meeting tomorrow about the pump track. It seems like Kurt is staying busy in his newfound retirement already, so he'll be at that meeting. And then from there, I had a great meeting today with Rhonda and Angela who pulls together about utilizing our Alpha Map software for economic development purposes, bunch of like location maps, potentially even making like a video that advertises the community to site selectors specifically. There's a housing stakeholder meeting coming up on June 24th that I'm organizing with IDA. As part of our planning process with them. And then last thing is just working on the RISE grant with Whitney, trying to figure out which project's going to fit that. Specifically, Pulse Together did a planning grant last cycle, which now allows us to qualify for implementation because literally one sentence in that said, some of the workforce challenges that we're facing are related to housing. So we can get up to $2 million for a housing project in that tune. And so, yeah, we're trying to see if we can integrate that in sports complex or other developments that we have.
Sounds great. Any questions for Alex? Okay, it takes care of the department heads, and we're going to do the council members, starting with Jim.
Thank you, Mayor. DJ, looking forward to the next 10 months or so. Got a good, as I mentioned, good vision. A couple of things like Mattoon with the OSLAD grant. Originally, we were hoping 2 weeks ago we could have got the Lake Marina parking lot paved. That contract has been signed with Howe Asphalt. They're definitely coming Monday, June 10th. So looks like the weather forecast is good. That area will probably be shut down for about 3 days. Also with the OSLAD grant, 500 yards of riprap has been placed and completed with John Worksfall and a contractor. Pickleball courts look great. Thanks, Dave, and kind of coordinating that project. I drove by there tonight. All 6 courts are being used. There's going to be a St. Jude's fundraiser out there this coming Sunday. If anybody's interested, it's going to be a fundraiser. It's pickleball courts. You're not playing. And then we're also going to do a court dedication next 3 or 4 weeks on the pickleball court. Get a lot of people involved. And other than that, just Mayor, if you could remind everybody to always mute your phone. It's very important.
Before the meeting starts.
Anybody in the room, please just remind them.
All right, I'll make a note of that.
Why?
Okay. Any questions for Jim?
Thank you, Mayor.
Next, Commissioner Cox.
Thank you, Mayor. TJ, congratulations. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Don't ever worry about who and what's happened in the past. You were put in this position, brought to this position because of the things you bring to the table, and you're going to do fantastic. You're going to do good work. So wish you the best of luck.
Thank you both. That's appreciated.
You bet. That's it.
Any questions for Dave? Commissioner Graven?
Just congratulations, well deserved, and you did a great job. Other than that, nothing.
Okay, any questions? Commissioner Phipps?
Yeah, thanks to the roads for coming up. Appreciate the discussion. TJ, congrats. You'll do just fine, just like Dave said. Just a brief comment about, we celebrated Memorial Day last Monday, and certainly want to thank all the returning veterans, but also keep all those that didn't return in our hearts and prayers. As Dave said, streets kick off tomorrow, and a lot of other things kick off tomorrow as far as public works go. A lot of road work going on around the city, especially on some of the roads that are needing repaired around the sports complex. So if you see the guys out there flagging, just be courteous, be kind, and wave and slow down. And that's all I have. So,
Okay. Any questions for Commissioner Phipps? Just real quick for myself, I was able to go along with the board of directors of the new sports complex today to tour the indoor facility. Tyler Yoder, the new general manager, was there. Grundle Construction, who's got the primary construction on that, was there. All the board members of Mattoon Sports Complex Inc. was there. What I can tell you is that a couple things came up. Everybody was really excited about that complex. I mean, people who hadn't been in it before at all, and that's practically everybody, by the way, that I mentioned, except for the contractors. And it's really impressive, and everybody's going to get a chance to go through that. Right now, things are going to schedule. They're going to be shut down for the month of August, September, and October on these floors, because they're going to be doing all the gym floors, all the concrete work, all the subfloors and all the top floor. You can't get on those floors, and they're going to have a guy with a gun up there. Anybody steps on those floors, well, probably some of your people. Did you know about that?
We don't have anybody that can shoot.
Yeah, that's probably okay then. So no, but that's coming up right away with an opening and first events in November. They're planning on having events in November. So everything's moving along that path. The other thing I'll tell you about, this goes unanimous by the people that were there. They were so happy with working with the City of Mattoon. They specifically mentioned Dave Clark, Kyle Gill, Steve, Alex, all those people, doing such a great job and keeping things on schedule and, doing all the right things. So the contractors out there, the sports facilities people, all of them were very happy with working with the City of Mattoon. That's awesome. So anybody have any questions for me offhand? Oh, I gave everybody an updated brochure. This is somewhat of a fundraising brochure, but it's also got a lot of facts on there and a lot of photos and things like that. The picture on the front of the building is the north end. As you're looking at it, you're looking south. But that's the latest kind of view of what's happening there. And they gave me enough to give to everybody, so I just dropped them off. I just got a copy. They just got them off the press, I think, today. So anybody have any questions else for me? Okay, so the last part of our meeting, we're going to go into executive session. So I moved to a recess to close to session pursuant to closed session pursuant to Illinois Open Meeting Act for the purpose of discussion of the appointment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the city or legal counsel for the city under 5 ILCS 122C1 and collective negotiating matters between the city of Mattoon and its employees or their representatives or deliberation concerning salary schedules for one or more of the classes of employees under 5 ILCS 122C2. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, and we will call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Raven.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
yes.
Mayor Halls.
Yes. And when we reconvene, we will not be taking any action. So certainly you don't need to stick around and wait for us to get done. You're welcome to do that, by the way, if you want to hear us vote to recess. I don't know if anybody has any questions for these guys as they walk out the door. We got probably 2 minutes before we go into executive session. Anybody? If you have, I know we don't want to talk. Ed, if you'd go out first, it saves us a lot of time. So
Appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you.
At this time, we will pause the meeting and mute until we get back from executive session.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're good to go again.
Okay. I got things to sign. We gonna adjourn? You got anything else to talk about?
I have nothing else to.
Anybody else want to talk about anything? Are we,
Yeah, we're recording, so
okay, so
just waiting on a motion.
big motion.
Mayor,
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Would anybody like to second that?
I will second it.
Commissioner Phipps, anybody want to? Third? Okay, so any, let's do roll call.
No discussion.
Commissioner
We're
Cox,
not going to discuss it.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven,
No.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion passed. Meeting over.
Monday,
Over 8 o'clock. You called it.